Alright, in this video here today, I'm going to be reaching out to all of you that may have Delta shower faucets such as this one with the little diverter over here, which I actually just replaced. Uh, this home is built in 1973, and this is most likely all the original plumbing as far as I know. I've lived in this home since 89 or 90 when I was young, and I just bought the home recently from the family, and for the longest time we didn't even use the tub filler because this thing was seized in. So about 2 weeks ago I took everything apart and I cleaned up the original diverter valve, and there's like a plastic thing that stops the copper pipe that feeds this, and when you push it in, this plastic thing goes over the copper pipe and blocks the water from coming down here and forces it to go up to the shower head. And the plastic, seemed like it was all right, but there's a pin that goes through. It's kind of like this, and one of these things was broken off. So I thought maybe it was leaking when the shower head was on, because perhaps that plastic piece wasn't seating properly. And also I scotch-brighted the valve and I greased it up, and actually it was working fine. Sometimes I would have water leak out of there, but it would go in and pop out. So anyway, I went on eBay and I bought a new one, and not that impressed with this new one, because you see, when I cleaned up the old one, it would always pop, when you turn the water off, it would always pop out this far, but this new one only comes out a little bit. And sometimes I'll notice that because it doesn't pop out fully, sometimes when the majority of the water is coming out through the faucet, I'll also get some coming out of here unless I manually pull this out. So I don't know if that spring is a little weaker. Then I don't see how the new spring could be weaker than the old spring in terms of pushing this thing out all the way. It should pop out all the way. But you see, I push it in and it only comes out about half. And there seems to be a rough spot. You can even hear it. Maybe if I just sit here all day and I wiggle this thing, it'll free up. But anyway, that's not really what the bulk of my video is about. But the whole reason I replaced that diverter valve there is because whenever I was using the shower head, I always had water leaking out of here. And when I replaced it, it really didn't change at all. And it just doesn't seem right. Every other house I've been in that has different faucets, not like this Delta one here. I like this Delta one here. I recently just rebuilt it. I put new springs and gaskets in it, and I tightened the jam nut, or whatever you call that makes the handle a little bit tighter, just for good measure. I actually replaced all the gaskets and all the faucets throughout the house just for good measure. Since I was a new owner, I wanted to be very economical and not waste any water. This is the only faucet here that makes me think I'm wasting water when I'm taking a shower. You can even see up here, in this faucet I did, actually the shower head, I did take out the water restrictor, so if I need full pressure water, I got it. But then you see I put this little valve up here so I could tone it back. So really I have full control over it versus that little damn restrictor they put in there that always gives you low flow. I could have high flow if I want, but then I can crank it back a little bit. As you can see, that valve is at a slight angle there, so I crank back the pressure for most of my showering. But I like having full control versus the government telling me how much water I can use. But anyway, I'll give you a little, or actually I was getting a little bit off topic here. I like these faucets because, not that I do, but you can control the water pressure with the handle, and also select your temperature. Whereas some of the newer faucets, they only turn one way. So it's like low pressure is cold water, and then when you get all the way up to hot, you can't dial back the pressure unless you also dial back the temperature. You know, they in my father's house, which was built in '99, I forget what kind of faucets he have. They might be Moen. But anyway, you turn it left to turn the water on, turn it right to turn the water off. And as you're turning it left, it's cold, then hot, all the way at the end of the range. So as I said, if you wanted low pressure, you'd only be getting cold water. And if you have hot water, you're only getting full pressure. You can't dial it back. Like I said, not that you do, but I feel that this gives you more control because, see, this is hot and this is cold, and the water's not even on. Whereas I could have low pressure at hot or low pressure at cold if I wanted. So I just think these faucets are nice. They give you full control. Maybe I'm a control freak. I just don't like being told I can't do something, especially by stupid water valves. Anyway, you see I barely turned on the water there. I'm all the way on cold. Or I could be barely any water pressure all the way on hot. Anyway, let me get to the video here. All right, we got the I guess you just call this the faucet portion on, and I'm gonna push this in and get the shower head going. All right, now you can see with this little valve here, that would be full pressure, and then I could. These valves, they actually don't turn off all the way. It doesn't always block. And the weird thing is about this shower head, even though it's new, when you're on low pressure, really low pressure like it is now, water leaks out of where the hose meets this fitting. I don't know why, but then when the pressure goes up, it stops leaking out of there. See that? I don't know why that is, but I just found that to be weird. But anyway, I normally take a shower with about this much pressure, and but really it doesn't matter. Let's just max it out here, and you'll see the faucet always leaks that much no matter what. It leaked the same with the old valve as it does with the new valve, and it just doesn't seem right. It seems like it's wasting a lot of water, having that steady drip all the time. And that's the whole reason I replaced the diverter valve, is I thought it would take care of that. That just doesn't seem right, is it? You know, if it came down to having to replace the whole manifold in the wall, I'd probably just say the hell with it. You know, don't fix it if it's not totally broken. I'm sure sometime it'll have to be replaced in the future anyway. If this is original from '73, something's probably going to go wrong sometime. Actually, the whole tile on this tub could use a refurbishing. But anyway, I'll show you when I turn off the water. You see how that it pops out, but it doesn't pop out all the way. So when you turn the water back on, you see how I'm getting some water pressure up there because this stupid thing doesn't pop out all the way. And this is the brand new valve. Even the old valve that I cleaned up popped out all the way after it was stuck seized in forever. So there's your probably new made in China junk that doesn't do what it should. Yep. Engage the shower head, turn it off, and it doesn't pop out all the way. You can pull it out manually, but it's probably just rough machining or some shit. So anyway, if any of you have a shower like this, does your bottom faucet leak that much water when you are only supposed to be getting water through the shower head? Let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. Thanks.